core of this ridiculous abuse. Do you have a problem with it?
Yeah, so your producer should have updated you with facts with that Social Security nonsense. They didn't know how to read the data. This is why you don't have 19 to 25-year-olds without any experience now having access to our tax documents, to our Social Security numbers, to our Treasury Department. This is why you have to have oversight.
That was Wajahat Ali on Piers Morgan Uncensored, discussing what's really going on in the Department of Government Efficiency. And the problem is that no one really knows what is going on. We're not even sure who's running the department because, according to Trump and the White House, it's not Elon Musk. But despite what we're being told, we can also see that Elon Musk and his gang of children are able to access private data on all Americans, and they've been given access to seemingly every aspect of the government, all in the name of fraud. What fraud? Just fraud, like general fraud. This is why Republicans get away with stunts like this. This is why Trump still has supporters, because his supporters will just hear the word fraud and their ears will get hot. They're already mad. They're already addicted to the rage bait, so they can't wait to get some more of it. They get triggered as soon as they hear the word fraud. They don't care that they haven't seen any evidence of fraud. They don't even care that they don't know what kind of fraud Trump is referring to, where some non-Trump supporters would immediately think to ask, what fraud? Can you show me? Can you explain to me what is fraudulent about what your DOGE team has found? Trump supporters would simply not think or care to ask those questions. As long as it comes from Trump's mouth, that is enough for them. They don't even think beyond the fact that the terms wasteful spending and fraud are not synonymous with one another. No one's mad about cutting wasteful spending. That is a totally reasonable thing to do for a government or for anybody. But the word fraud is way more infuriating than wasteful spending. The word fraud rallies the base to the point that they stop thinking about what's actually going on before they can even think to criticize what's actually going on. And once a base is rallied, then the people in charge, whether it's Trump, Elon, or whoever, they get free reign to do whatever they want. But let's hear more from that segment before we move on.
Another piece of news that came out today. DOGE said that they saved $8 billion. Guess what? Math matters. They misread a couple of numbers, 8 million. Guess what also we found out? That these brilliant 19 to 25-year-olds, these teenagers who we have no idea about their expertise, their experience, no accountability, no oversight, they accidentally fired hundreds of federal employees who look over our nuclear weapon stockpile, and now they're desperately trying to rehire them.
So let's talk about those 8 billion or 8 million fraudulent dollars that DOGE uncovered. This might be a good time to remind people that even though we hear the word billion quite a lot these days, 1 billion of anything is an incomprehensible amount, especially compared to 1 million. The difference between 8 million of anything and 8 billion of anything is not a negligible difference. Over at DOGE, Musk and his team have so far claimed to have unearthed $55 billion in fraudulent government spending, including $8 billion coming from one terminated contract. On the DOGE website, its wall of receipts shows, quote, a transparent account of DOGE's findings and actions. But for all of the department's claims or efforts of transparency, the numbers just don't add up. Even with the, let's call it the $8 billion typo, the receipts on the website do not add up to $55 billion. More like just a quarter of that, closer to $16 billion, most of that coming from canceled or slashed government contracts. So if the real total is closer to $16 billion and 8 of those billions are no good, then the tens of billions of dollars that Elon and Trump keep claiming DOGE is saving the American people is not factually correct. However, even after the typo was acknowledged, DOGE has not adjusted its $55 billion claim. On the website, there is no running total on the savings, and I can only assume that that was intentional. Most people aren't going to add up all of those numbers themselves, so they'll just take Elon and Trump's word that it all works out to around $55 billion. But even as you scroll through the numbers, you can see that $55 billion figure does not make a whole lot of sense. The $8 billion cut was the single biggest line item on DOGE's wall of receipts, and it was attributed to a government contract for ICE. However, the federal database shows that the ICE contract in question with a company that was supposed to offer support for ICE DEI initiatives is only for $8 million, not $8 billion, because $8 billion for something like that would be absurd. The New York Times says that, for context, $8 billion is closer to the entire budget for the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. And even after the adjustment from $8 billion to $8 million, the $8 million figure is already an overstatement. According to U.S. spending data, DOGE only saved around $5.5 million in canceling the contract because $2.5 million of the original $8 million had already been paid out. But don't worry, Elon already covered himself with all of this. He said in his Oval Office press conference that DOGE will make mistakes and they'll do their best to correct their mistakes. And sure, that's fair. Things happen, especially when you've got kids working for you. But as far as correcting their mistakes, the major adjustment hasn't stopped Elon or the president or their supporters from claiming DOGE has already saved the government $55 billion without any evidence of such savings. It hasn't stopped them from claiming to be completely transparent about those savings while not being completely transparent about those savings. They're coming for your money. Elon is looking for trillions of dollars, not billions, not even billions. It's not going to come from these dinky government contracts. It's accounting 101. You can't give billionaires unspeakable tax cuts without having to balance your books elsewhere. All right, that's it for me. If you got anything out of this, please like the video and subscribe to the channel for more. Thanks.